The food you eat becomes who you are. It literally makes up every single cell in your body. So why would we ever want to leave this to chance? When it comes to disease or health, with every meal you eat and every bite you take, you're either fighting disease or you're feeding it. I want to tell you a bit about my story with respect to food and food sensitivity testing. It dates all the way back to 2006. I was 21 years old and I cared about one thing: how can I optimize my performance? And I knew that it lied in nutrition. I just knew that instinctively, and I wanted to know more, and I wanted to know how I could build the best, most stable body, most high-performing body. And I knew it started with nutrition because I had some of the best coaches around me continually drilling that into my mind. Nowadays, there's a ton of confusion. If you look at all the healthcare practitioners, no one can get on the same page. It's calories in, calories out. It's high fat, low carb. It's vegan, it's vegetarian, it's omnivore, it's carnivore. We as healthcare practitioners cannot get it straight, so we wonder why the lay public just gives up and eats for satisfaction and nothing else. So I understand why there's frustration. I understand why people just throw their arms up in the air and go, I don't know, they can't get it together. I don't know who to trust. I don't know what information to follow. So you just instinctively eat whatever. But what if there's a way that you could look into the best fuel for your body? Because if we use a gas and a car analogy, it's essentially what food is for us. It is fuel, right? It's where we get our calories from. It's where we get our energy from. It's what ends up making up all the cells in our body. You literally are the food you eat. And although you can't remember every single meal you've eaten, they have, collectively, those meals, they have made you who you are. So it's something you never want to leave to chance, and it's never something you want to shortchange. So in 2006, I was working with a naturopathic physician. I did extensive food sensitivity testing, and I figured out what my kryptonite foods were. I figured out what foods were causing my gut inflammation. I figured out what foods were hindering my recovery. I figured out what foods were preventing me from lifting more weight or running faster. I found out the foods that were literally slowing me down and preventing me from optimized performance and functioning at my highest level possible. In just about 3 months after eliminating the foods that were causing me problems, I lost about 15 pounds. I had clear skin. My mind was extremely sharp, so it gets rid of brain fog. Any skin conditions we see get cleaned up almost instantly when you fix the foods, and you're eating hopefully at least 3 meals a day. So why not figure out what is the optimal diet for you? A lot of things and a lot of information these days are centered around macronutrients, carbs, fat, protein, total calories, but none of them are taking into account the quality of the calorie. And when I mean quality of the calorie, I mean the food that it's coming from. Is that a food that your body likes, or is it a food that your body does not like? This is a huge part of the puzzle that many nutrition and diet coaches are not touching on, is not just classifying foods as good or bad, but what is good or bad for that person. This is where the individuality comes into play. This is where the specificity comes into play, because you are a unique person. You were put here for unique reasons, and your body digests and assimilates nutrients and food in a unique way that's different from someone else. So you can't just follow cookie cutter approaches. You need to do advanced testing. You need to figure out the best way to fuel your body. If your body's meant to run on 95 octane and you're pumping 87 into it just because you're guessing and unsure, you're going to have decreased performance, and this will set you up for problems down the road. So I'm going to go through the food sensitivity options that we have. I'm going to touch on the basic panel and the advanced panel. So that's going to be coming up in the next slides.